It's a Manchu. Welcome back to Minecraft Bedrock versus Java. And here I am in the Java world, and last time I left off, I had found some cool stuff while mining. I found a mine shaft, just like I found one in the Bedrock world. I also found a spider spawner in a dungeon, and that's going to be very helpful to me. After I signed off last time, I did go back and do some exploration of that mine shaft. And in the process, I learned a couple things about differences between Bedrock and Java. So I collected a bunch of cobwebs, and I collected them with shears. When you break cobwebs with shears, you get back the cobwebs. You can also break cobwebs with a sword, and it drops a piece of string. So I got one piece of string from that. And, you know, like I say, I'm more familiar with Bedrock Edition, so some of these things about Java Edition are new to me, or I didn't realize it. I always wondered why I see people taking these cobwebs and breaking them with swords, because what you can do is you can take a cobweb and put it in a crafting table and it turns it into 9 string, except not on Java Edition. That's a feature of Bedrock Edition where you can turn one cobweb into 9 string in a crafting interface. You can't do that in Java Edition. And so that's why people will break it with swords. If they're playing Java Edition, it does them no good to collect them with shears unless they actually want the cobwebs. And that's going to give me a lot less string from those cobwebs. Another difference that I've noticed and I just haven't brought up before, when I feed these cows with wheat, it doesn't make any special noises. In Bedrock Edition, it does. When I feed them, it makes like this munching noise when I feed them the wheat. I'm pretty sure that's actually a bug. And it's, debatable. Should I bring that difference up because it's a bug and it might get fixed eventually anyway? There's a lot of differences between Bedrock and Java that are related to a bug in one version or the other. And the thing is, though, a lot of those bugs are just bugs that have become features over time because they've been really popular and people have done amazing stuff with them, and so they just leave those bugs in and the developers have no intention of ever fixing those. Also, you can see that I collected some rails, and I got another 10 diamonds in my last expedition. When I explored that mine, I turned some of those diamonds into a diamond sword, and then I went and did some enchanting. I discovered, to my great disappointment, I had slabs along here, like the bottom half of these blocks, thinking that that would be fine because there's still open space between the enchanting table and the bookshelves. In order to make full use of the enchanting table, you need to surround it with 15 bookshelves. That'll allow you to get the maximum level enchantments out of it. There can't be anything between the bookshelves and the enchanting table. But I didn't realize that putting slabs like here would actually interfere with that, but it does. In order to get this enchanting table to work at full functionality, I had to get rid of the slabs. And now this build looks kind of stupid. The chimney looks bad, and the fireplace looks stupid. I have regrets. Someday I may come back and fix that, but that's for another time. For right now, I'm going to take a nap, and then I'm going to go exploring. Okay. So what I want to do is explore the area around where my home base is and maybe even a little further out. And to do that, I'm going to need to make some maps and fill those maps in. And maps is an important difference between Bedrock Edition and Java Edition. The way they work have quite a few differences. To start with, how you make a map. Now, in order to make a map, what you do is you take 8 paper and then use that paper to surround a compass, and then you make an empty map. And then I can use that map, and it shows me the area right around my base with a little pointer there showing my current location and facing. Now, that's how you do it in Java Edition. In Bedrock Edition, you can make a map that way, or you can create a cartography table, like that, and place it on the cartography table, And you can make a map in Bedrock Edition. Can't do this in Java Edition, but you can make it in Bedrock Edition with one piece of paper and a single compass. And it won't even let me do that in Java Edition. I'll show that later when I get to Bedrock Edition, but yeah, with one piece of paper and a compass and a cartography table, you can make a map in Bedrock Edition. Also in Bedrock Edition, you can make a map that doesn't have that white locator pointer, a non-locator map, by using the same recipe for creating a map except excluding the compass for the recipe. And you can make a non-locator map in Bedrock Edition. So this map is showing me a 128 by 128 area. Each pixel represents one block. That's kind of a finite scale and not going to be very useful for my exploring. But I can expand that map by putting it into this cartography table and adding a piece of paper to it. And then expands out from 128 by 128 to a map that's 256 by 256. And then I can do that again and double the scale of the map again to make it 512 by 512. And I can do that again. I think you get the picture where this is going, expanding it out to a map of 1024 by 1024 blocks. I could even do that one more time, and this would be the maximum scale that you can have, and that makes a map that's 2048 blocks by 2048 blocks. But I'm not going to do that. And the reason I'm not going to use the maximum scale is, at that scale, at 2048 by 2048 blocks, each pixel on the map represents a 16 by 16 block chunk. And that's just not fine enough resolution to make out any fine details. You can tell from a map on that scale one biome from another, but that's about it. You're not going to be able to pick out ravines or villages or any kind of other features like that. So I prefer to use this scale of map when I'm exploring. Now the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make a copy of this map. So I make another blank map. Just an empty map. And then I put this map in the cartography table and combine the empty map with it. And that gives me a duplicate of that map. Now I can put that duplicate of the map on the item frame, and you can see on the map now I have a green arrow on the map where that map in the item frame, where the copy of it is in the item frame. So that's going to give me a permanent locator for where my home base is. Now also, in Bedrock Edition, there's an ability in the interface to name it. I think in order to name it in Java Edition, I actually have to use this anvil to name it. And so I can rename it in the anvil to home. And now the map is labeled home. And it should still show me the green arrow, does it not? Yes, green arrow's arrow. Okay. So, now that I have the map, what I'm going to do is I have some extra compasses. I'm going to put one in my offhand, and I'm going to use that to guide me back toward world spawn, because that's where the compass points. I'm going to head back toward world spawn. That's the first place I'm going to go with this new map. Although, wait a minute. Before I leave, I think I have a boat. I probably should take it with me, rather than have to craft one on the go. Yeah, boat. Probably carrying more stuff than I really need right now, but it's fine. It'll be fine. As I explore, I'm on the lookout for any red pixels on the map, anything red. Because red indicates either lava or netherrack. That's pretty much all it can be. That means a ruined portal or a ravine going down to lava level or surface lava. Either way, it's some point of interest that might be worth checking out. I brought a bed with me on this trip so that when it gets dark I can sleep through the night, make it day again, and then break the bed to take with me again when I go. That will create a slight problem for me, though. And the problem is that when I use that bed to sleep in through the night, it's going to create my spawn point. It's going to set my spawn point to that bed. When I break the bed, I lose that spawn point. So then what happens if I die? Well, if that should happen, it's happened once in this game already. I've had one death already in the Java edition. If that were to happen, and I have lost my most recent spawn point, I'd end up back at world spawn. And that's kind of the reason I'm heading back toward world spawn as the first place I'm going to go. Okay, as I move along, I kind of expected this would happen because I traveled pretty far from my original world spawn. And I'm going to get to the edge of this map. When I do, that arrow turns into a dot. So it no longer shows me the direction I'm facing. And the further away I get from the edge of the map, the smaller that dot becomes. That's a feature of Java Edition. In Bedrock Edition, it stays an arrow on the edge of the map, and it continues to point which direction you're facing. Now, I suppose in Java Edition, I can always use the debug menu, and it will show me which direction I'm facing. So I can always tell which direction I'm facing, but in Bedrock, I can use any locator map, no matter how far off that edge of that map I might be, and it will show me which direction I'm facing. This looks familiar. I think I'm getting close. This is the spot right here. This is where I spawned. Okay, great. All right. So what I'm going to do here, like I say, if I die without a spawn location, then I'm going to end up here. And as you can see, my home base is off the map. It's pretty far from here. It might be a long time before something like this happens. I die and end up at world spawn, and I might not know how to get back to where I am. I might not know how to get back to my home base. It could be the middle of the night. So I'm going to leave behind for myself a little care package of stuff if such a thing were to happen. I'll leave a bed here, leave a crafting table. I managed to gather a lot of wool on my way here. So I'm going to dye that white wool red. And I'm going to make a banner. Place the banner like over here on this tree. Okay, so now I've left behind a map showing my home base, some extra food, and a few tools. I'm going to leave this bed sitting here. So now I got a nice little care package to take with me. And now while I'm here, since I'm not on this map anymore, let me make a new map. It looks like, fortunately, I'm not like several maps away. I think I'm like right off the edge, so that'll be perfect. I can fill in these two maps, and unfortunately, I think they fit diagonally on the other frame. Because I'm not making the maximum size scale map, I'm probably gonna have to fill in multiple maps to give myself a good view of the surrounding area, but that's fine. That's fine. Oh, and one last thing. I want to take this new map I made and use it on this banner. And now it puts a red marker, the same color as the banner, on the map where that banner is. This is a Java-only feature. You can't do this in Bedrock. If I had the foresight to do it, I could have made a banner back at my home base where I have an anvil, renamed that banner in the anvil, and then placed this banner here and used the map on it, and it would have, whatever the banner's name was, which would have been probably World Spawn, it would have said World Spawn on the map as well. Like, so just as the banner was named, so too the marker on the map would have been named, would have been labeled. But I didn't think ahead that far. But it's going to be a nice feature for... That's going to be a nice feature for this, that I can mark points of interest on this map as I'm filling it in using banners. I just use a bunch of wool. Hopefully I can find some more sheep along the way. Get my shears out, so that I can make more banners if need be. Alright, as I explore along in the boat now, when I'm moving forward, the things I'm holding in my hand don't show up. I believe that the map still fills in, even though it's not visible. In Bedrock Edition, you would still see the things I'm holding in my hand. You'd still see the map filling in as I go. But this does provide me a better view of what's below me. I can see the ocean floor and maybe make out some useful features down there. Oh! Well, hello there, guys! I found a village. And let's make me a pink banner. Don't worry, I didn't find more pink sheep. I just found some pink dye and made some artificial pink sheep. But I think I'll use pink now as a universal color for... That's where a village is from now on. And there's a village. I didn't find too much of use in this village, except I found potatoes, which is great because all I have for crops right now at home is wheat. I swear it seems easier to see the ocean floor. Bedrock Edition, but I could be wrong. Well, looky there. Ocean Monument. The hell do I want to do about that? It's going to be a bit risky to do this. I'll brave it. There are Elder Guardians there. They're going to give me mining fatigue. But I want to mark this spot, darn it. I'll take the mining fatigue. Did not expect that to happen so quickly. Well, it's good that I had this spot, isn't it? Oh, wait. There's a shipwreck, like, right here. Buried treasure map. Awesome. Alright, so in my exploration, I found a ship with a buried treasure map. Let's go find that buried treasure. This really isn't anything different between Bedrock and Java Edition, as far as how buried treasure work, at least as far as I know. The way to do this is just hold it in my hand without anything in my offhand and make it line up so that my locator pointer is directly beneath the X. X marks the spot. I think that's it. Just dig down here, I should find it. I'm lucky because these treasure maps aren't always entirely on land. There it is. Lots of good stuff in here. In fact, I'm going to have trouble finding room to store it all. Is that a shipwreck on the left, or am I imagining things? is that? Yeah, it is a shipwreck. Buried treasure map. There it is. Wow, look at all that stuff. Oh, wait. Oh, 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 oh! Hello! Okay, so I'm on the 4th map now, and I was beginning to get disappointed because I've been finding nothing but forest and taiga and plains, cold or temperate biomes, nothing warm, and the mother lode, the best biome I could have hoped for, the one I really want because it's got really cool resources in it that I need, is jungle. And I was really beginning to despair. I wanted to make 4 maps in a 2x2 grid. I was really beginning to despair that I'd find a really good biome like jungle, which is definitely what I was looking for. Oh, yes. Yes. Oh, I am a happy camper. I found a jungle biome. That is fantastic. There are certain resources here that I'd be hard-pressed to find anywhere else. Like jungle wood, for example. Bamboo. Melons, although I can find melons in other biomes, they're a lot rarer. Cocoa beans. All things that I'm not going to find easily anywhere else. Oh, this is awesome. This is awesome. I'm ecstatic to have found this. Aha! Melons. Excellent. Now I have melons, I have cocoa beans, I have bamboo, and I have jungle saplings. I have everything I need from the jungle. Stuff that is difficult or impossible to find anywhere else. I actually don't need a lot of cocoa beans. I need a few. Cocoa beans are useful for making cookies, which are not a great food. And they're also the only source in the game for brown dye. So if I want something colored brown, I want to have brown dye, cocoa beans are the only source. There's a skelly over there. There's a couple of skellies over there. Surprising number of skellies in here. Why is that exactly? I'm getting lit up over here. Run away! Run away! And done. Oh, wow, that was a pain in the butt. That last map right here took me forever to do because I had almost finished mapping it and I got killed by a skeleton and lost all my stuff, including the map. So I had to redo the map. Ah, pain in the butt. But it took a long time, but it was worth it. It's done now. I have marked here pink arrows. I've marked here with pink banners 4 different villages. A couple of them are pretty close to my home base, so that's great. So I died twice in this expedition. Once was down here. There's a ocean monument down there, and I wanted to put a marker there, and got out of the boat, and I did not expect the Guardians to nuke me that quickly, but they took me out very fast. Even though it didn't take me long, I wasn't out of the boat long, I wasn't there very long, they just took me out very quickly. Fortunately, I recovered all my stuff after that, but dying to the skeletons out there, all my stuff despawned. I lost it all. And had to redo the whole thing. But I found some good stuff. I found a jungle. I got some good resources. The only thing I don't have that I could use is there's no frozen ocean. I'm going to at some point probably want some packed ice. I could use some ice too, but I could probably farm ice. That's not a huge problem. It's not really practical to farm packed ice. It would take too much time and effort to do. It'd be really nice if I could find naturally forming packed ice someplace. But that's a long-term goal. It might be a while before I have to worry about that. But now I think I'm done exploring in the overworld for a while and gathering resources for a while, at least in the Java world. Now I gotta do the same thing in the Bedrock world. Okay, and here I am in the Bedrock world. Just like in the Java world where before I started I went back to the mine shaft and did a little bit more digging and exploring, and I did that in the Bedrock world as well and collected a bunch of more stuff. So I got a decent amount of resources now, and just going to do the same thing. I'm going to map out probably a 2x2 area of maps, and once again, because I can make maps in the cartography table now in Bedrock Edition, I'm going to do that. So there's one piece of paper and a compass, and it makes me a map. There we go. Now I'll just expand this out. To that size. And then, like I said, if you exclude the compass, you can make a non-locator map in Bedrock Edition, so I'm going to do that. And then I'm actually not going to look at that. I'm going to take and combine that map with this one and make a duplicate. So it saves me on some compasses to do it that way. And now put that on in frame. Okay. And just one other thing to show off, just to show that I'm not crazy. So here I have cobwebs. I put them in the crafting table. Whoops. I put them in the crafting table. And you see I can make 9 string from one cobweb. That makes me a crap load of string from the cobwebs I've collected. This is not all the cobwebs I've collected, by the way. That's just some of them. Also, I have some seeds. After I got back from my expedition, I decided to make this composter setup so I can just put stuff I want to compost up in here. And it'll automatically feed it in through the composter. And bone meal comes out the side. Alright. I think I'm ready to go. Unfortunately, you know how I said there's less functionality in the offhand? I cannot put the compass in my offhand. I'm just going to have to hold it in my hotbar to navigate with. Oh, also one other thing. You can see I enchanted this sword. It has looting 3. I enchanted this pickaxe with fortune 3 and unbreaking 3. that Fortune 3 ability I had before I went back to the abandoned mine shaft to explore it. So I managed to collect a lot of stuff thanks to the Fortune 3 ability. Alright, without any further ado, let's get moving. World spawn is this way. Now you can see here, I'm most definitely off the map edge, and the pointer's still there. It's still showing me the direction I'm facing, unlike a Java edition, when it turns into a dot, which gets smaller the further away from the edge you get. Ah, yeah. I remember spawning like right at the entrance to this cave. Yeah, make a regular map. And then I will duplicate this map. And incidentally, this is not available. That's not available in Java Edition, that I can just use the cartography table interface to name the map. It doesn't cost me experience because I don't have to use an anvil to do it. Nice. And as you can see, I'm on the water, moving forward, and my items are still up in front of my face. In fact, it kind of obscures my view. In fact, it obscures my view so much, I think I'll put the map in my offhand like that. That is one of the few things that you can hold in your offhand in Bedrock Edition. There's a treasure chest. Hey, a treasure map. I'll take that. And everything else in here. I found it. Hey, a name tag. Potion of water breathing doesn't stink. Oh, wait. Oh my god, I think this is the first time I've seen trees that aren't spruce. Wow! Awesome. I knew it had to happen eventually. Ooh. I forget the correct term for that. That's like a zombie village or abandoned village. Something like that. There won't be any live villagers here, just zombies. These are pretty rare in Java Edition, but in Bedrock Edition, they're much more common. Lots of cobwebs in these places. And there, at last, it's done. The map's filled in. I was a little disappointed because, well, I didn't find a jungle. There is going to come a time when I'm going to need bamboo. Going to need it for some of the builds I'm going to do. But it's in the future, and hopefully I can find some before then. I have a feeling, just a strong suspicion, that there are no jungles like anywhere within thousands of blocks of this area. I didn't really find much new in this Bedrock world that I hadn't seen in my journey to this base that home base that I'd set up. There's a few villages. I found a few ruin portals. But, not much else that I hadn't seen already. Anyway, that's done. It took forever to do. My god, it took a ridiculous amount of time. But I got some resources from it. In the Bedrock world, I got some different kinds of wood now, which might help me when I want to build something different. I don't have to just rely on spruce. That'll be good. But I think I've had my fill of exploring for a while. And now, I haven't really showed it off, but I did do some enchanting. I have enchanted this sword. It's got looting 3, knockback 2. That's pretty good. I enchanted this diamond pickaxe. It's got fortune 3, unbreaking 3, and another diamond pickaxe. It's got silk touch, unbreaking 3, and efficiency 4. That's really good. I am going to want to work on doing more enchanting. To do that, I need more experience. To get that experience, I'm going to make an experience farm. And making an experience farm in both the Java world and the Bedrock world is what I intend to do next time on Amon Chooses Minecraft Java versus Bedrock.